But even with all that, what the f is going on? My computer has been doing so much bull. First the audio with OBS, and now that whole recording is just I gotta redo all of that. Oh. Well, yeah, that'll be the intro to this. I hate this. I hate today. At least we know where Zach is now. That explains why he's not answering his phone. But what the hell did he do, Zach? He said said he had a plan that might help, but if he got in enough trouble, blah blah blah. And myself didn't think I'd like that plan at all. And hell yeah, I'm mad. I'm furious. It's just as Isabel said. I doubt Zach will get himself arrested because of an actual crime. But whatever stupid stunt he pulled to get there isn't any. F you. Any better. The only thing today so far is the fact that the streets are nearly empty so early on a Sunday morning. Very few pedestrians and virtually no other car on the road to get in the way of us rushing to the precinct. Within the speed limit, of course. Today welcomes us as soon as we waltz into the LPD HQ. Follow officers running here and there, pushing around paperwork and answering calls. It's almost Halloween and troublemakers are abound. It's calls about pranks gone wrong make up most of it this time of year, along with occasional altercation over missing dog. Some of the other officers who work with me look up from their desk and wave, though none of them moves to stop us like I'm expecting. Trying to go to my ass. It probably didn't last a whole day. Can you tell I'm really pissed right now that I had to read all of this bullshit again? Although I'd like to have a chat with them sooner or later about official matters, I'm not here for them right now. Of course, it never hurts to see what they have for me, and the best person to ask for details in the precinct is the guy behind the booking window. He glances at me once, my approach, and immediately turns to his task indifferent. Not that I need his full attention. As long as he talks, I'm good. Next to me, Isabella stands wordlessly, clearly uncomfortable, waiting in anticipation from how close she's sticking to me. But that's probably because she's been in the same position so many times in her life. Her drunkard brother Eel is her repeat offender, most minor cases, but she has to be the one to bail him out every time from what I've gathered. I can't imagine what's going on inside her head now that it has happened to a close friend. Hearing the way these guys talk about him must be worse.
I heard there's a new guy in the holding cells.
I mean, you know Zach, and if they've seen him, they don't pay too much attention. They're keeping work and personal life as far away from each other as possible. Can each one of them quick to chat, gossip, and be the one to talk about the new detainee and have everyone's attention.
News flies fast, huh? They just brought him in this morning.
Any info on him?
Got his ass handed by some rich bloke's bodyguard. Or butler. Whatever. When we got to the scene, he's already been strung up and ready for pickup. Hard to imagine how a guy like him could have been taken down. But the butler has this creepy air to him. I'd rather not ask. Feel sorry for the bloke. He could have fought back.
That's because Zach wouldn't hurt a fly.
All said under her breath, but her grip on her bag grows rigid. Unlike me, she's not frustrated at Zach. That ire is directed at the person who put our friend in the predicament. True though, Zach's not the kind of person, knowing he might be in a bad state, whatever little anger I built up for him on the way here results in thin air.
Has he been booked yet?
No, still sleeping. Creepy butler probably hit him hard.
Which is a good thing. If they slip up and forget, we get him a writ of habeas corpus and take him out of there, depending on what he's actually being charged with. But at the same time, it's bad. How long is he going to be unconscious?
Your friend was caught on right property, and you better believe I'm not happy about this. Not one bit.
I want to say that there must be some sort of misunderstanding. Zach isn't the type to do such a thing, unless it's his plan all along. In that case, I couldn't just sit blindly into this without all the details, no matter how much I want to believe my friend's innocence. And Luke, right? What on earth was Zach thinking? In any case, it doesn't look like Chief is happy, even if I don't protest and give him a salute. Not pleased at all. The fact that he grabs and pulls me aside is any indication. If I describe his expression, he looks ready to kill me.
I swear, Frey, if you're behind this, if you told Steele to stalk the rights because you were taken off the case,
I'm not stupid enough to ignore chain of command and go against official orders. Give me some credit, Chief.
And you better be sure you didn't. Luke Wright is coming here, and we both know he's trouble. I'd consider your friend lucky if he only gets charges put against him. Maybe if we can make sure he's in a good mood, he won't escalate the situation. Hell, maybe we'll have a bloody miracle and Steele only gets a slap on the wrist, but Lord knows it's unlikely with that man.
You know him well, Chief.
Observation on accusation. But it might as well be with how things panned out from the night of the housewarming party to the morning that followed. Hence why I was familiar with them too. Who's to say that friendship doesn't collect the investigation into Luke Wright? I don't want to accuse my superior, but damn it, he makes it difficult.
Of course I do, shouldn't you? We've been looking into the guy for so long. I'd call you a bad detective if you can't even tell me whether he's right or left-handed.
That's an easy one. He's left-handed, but he's been taught to use his right. You can tell when he picks something up with his left hand, but when he realizes that, he moves it to the right.
Well, at least I don't have to question your ability. Anyway, if I were you, I'd either go and make myself scarce or sit down and shut up. Don't go aggravating people, basically. Because you have a knack for that at the worst of times.
As much as I hate to say it, but he's right. It's better to keep my mouth shut and not wait to make things worse for Zack. There's not much to do now, but hope for the best. I don't call for an investigation when it comes to petty felonies. Worst case scenario, he's looking at a fine worth £5,000, 6 months in jail. Best case scenario, we get the charges bumped down to trespassing and misdemeanor due to non-offense. He'll be given probation and will be charged for restitution. At this point, those seem to be the most likely outcome. I don't see how he could have been framed for breaking and entering unless he was sticking to somebody's property against his will. Even in my head, that's something like
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I think I'm a delight to be around.
Tell that to my blood pressure pills. Anyway, let me handle him. All right.
And on cue, the moment Chief says that you-know-who arrives. Like the arrogant show-off that he is, he makes sure his arrival is well noticed by everyone within the immediate vicinity. Behind me, Isabella gasps. She has no idea how much of a trash his previous client is. She's going to get a frontline view. The guy ignores the front desk when Benjamin tries to greet him. He just blows past and walks in all high and mighty as if he owns the place. Meanwhile, the creepy butler of his trails behind like a tame dog on a leash. It's not bothered that the other officers stop whatever it is they're doing and stare. Whether it's out of suspicion, curiosity, or driven by some of their starstruck looks, they should quit it, get back to work, and stop giving the man the attention he's obviously seeking.
I'm here to report a crime.
Of course, why else would you be here? You're either reporting something or being put behind bars, you imbecile. I'm going to...
Calm down, Ashton. No need to rile myself. I need to calm down, not for him, not for myself, but for Zack. It's very difficult holding back when his face looks like he's a good right hook, but better just let the Chief handle it. Sure enough, he's the first to walk up to him, bearing a smile way too friendly for comfort. Looking at them like this makes me sick to my stomach. It's easy to know there's something up underneath the guise of keeping appearances.
I'll be happy to assist you with that, Mr. Wright. You'll have to issue your statements as victim and witness. We'll have to determine probable cause and properly file a criminal complaint. Of course, you understand.
Oh, I understand, though I don't see why you can't file that thing yourself. The cause is obvious, isn't it? He was breaking into my home in order to pilfer my belongings.
Well, we'll still need that police report. The prosecutor will be the one to determine what charges you can legally file against the accused.
Reports and prosecutors, why should we law-abiding citizens suffer through all that? Thugs like him should be kept off the streets. I mean, it's so obvious who these people are, you can practically spot them.
I know I'm going through this a second time, but God, I still hate him. Wait, hold up. Is this guy for real? Can he hear himself? He's not saying what I think he's saying, I hope.
We come here to our country, take advantage of our wealth and generosity, while we proper Brits work hard and pay our taxes. All the while they break our laws and ruin our civilized community. Trash like these should be kept contained. These uneducated...
Now, Mr. Wright. I know you're upset about what happened, but perhaps we should move to my office.
Of course. The sooner we can deal with the petty criminal, the better.
I can't believe how audacity this guy. Did you really think himself better just because he's born
I
rich?
swear they should just ship these peasants back to where they came from. They're all criminals. It can't be helped. It's in their genes.
Despite myself, in spite of her restraint I place on me, upon hearing those words, I can't help but open my mouth. The Chief's wanting to be damned. He's my friend he's fucking shitting on. Call him
They're all
out.
criminals? It's in their genes? Come here and say that to my face, you bastard!
Ash, don't.
I realized so much only after her whispered plea reached my ears. Isabella's fingers dig deep in the fabric of my jacket. She tries to pull me back. True, I shouldn't have put myself on the spotlight like that. But this guy, this fucking guy.
Oh, and who is this loud young man?
He glances at me like I'm a flea, a pest. But it's more disgusting how fast his expression changes once he spots Isabella. Behind me, recognition flashes in his eyes the moment his attention turns to her.
I do recognize little Lily over there, though. Hello, long time no see. Is Pipsqueak your friend?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. He didn't...
Don't apologize to him! He doesn't deserve it. I can't believe you're all just listening to his shit!
You have to calm down, Ash.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
Frey, stand down! I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. Luke, you have to excuse him. He's under a lot of stress. Just got removed from a case, and the man is an acquaintance, you see.
But I'm not taking any of my words out because he is an utter bastard. From the way he stares at Isabella to the way to what he has done to Zack, it all reeks of the rot. That is Luke fucking right. Even for so many years, nothing has changed. He's still the same slimeball who does everything to get what he
The
wants.
thief is a friend of a cop? Now that is the start of a joke if I've ever heard one. A thief and a cop walk into a bar.
He's not a thief!
And yet we found him trespassing on my
And
property.
he didn't steal anything.
There are eyewitnesses, and his grubby prints are probably all over my pristine walls as he was breaking in. Face the facts, little policeman. You've made the wrong sorts of friends.
He's not a criminal!
And that is the truth, though, with the way everyone is looking at me right now. This must have been how Isabella felt when we wouldn't believe her about the letter. Just the thought of that leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. And here she is caught in the middle of this fight I started.
Isabella, tell him! You know Zack. He's not the kind of person who'd do this shit!
Ash, we both know that. But yelling at him won't help Zack at all. Please.
Calm yourself, Frey! Unless you want me to throw you in a cell myself.
I understand you're upset that your friend is locked up, but the law is the law. And don't you worry, I won't be pressing charges against you. I don't know what charge, but I'm sure I can think of something if I need to. Do put a leash on your boyfriend, Lily. He might hurt himself. Being that angry can't be that good for his health.
I'm livid. Fist clenched shut, I am nearly ready to just sock this guy good and make do on that promise of a right hook. My frustration about it all must have shown because not only now do I realize that aside from Isabella, the other officers have also jumped in to hold me back all this time. They don't even let go of me, not till I put a good distance between me and scumbag. And it's awkward going on from there. The precinct is quiet, though the usual hustle and bustle of activity stayed. Everybody's making a concerted effort to shut their mouths about the whole scene. I wish they made the same effort to keep themselves from staring at me, though. They all wanted to talk about what just happened, but at the same time, they don't want to acknowledge that it did happen, and refuse to even make eye contact with me. All of it changes in the next second, though. It doesn't even register to me until it has already occurred. Before I have the chance to leave, ready to march out of the precinct, still angry and frustrated, all of a sudden, Isabella, who was standing close to me, by me not a second ago, grabs a half-full glass of water off one of the officer's tables and dumps the entirety of it content on scumbag. And the expression on her, it's nothing short of seething.
You bloody...
It's been a pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Afterwards, she slams the drinking glass down on the table with a loud thud. The whole precinct is still. The sound it creates echoes thickly along the walls, almost deafening. In the face of her temper, nobody dares move. Just giving me time to relish the disbelief in Wright's face. She marches toward me soon after, and before I can even say anything, she grabs me by the wrist and drags me out of the precinct. I'd say I'm racing something so satisfying in my life. I'd also be grinning from ear to ear if I weren't feeling so pissed at a lot of other things right now. Still would have loved to sock the bastard myself. A few minutes later, finds the two of us sitting in mutual silence inside my car. With the two of us in a mood, thanks to one specific scumbag, it's better to keep our own opinions to ourselves, lest we can lash out at each other. Let it melt away on its own. How long until then, can't tell. Zack's still in lockup, and I wasn't able to do a damn thing past getting angry and almost sucking the living daylights out of scumbag. Really, I just wanted to hit something, damn it. I almost envy Isabella for having the guts to throw water at him. But as amazing as it is to watch, she still shouldn't have done that. This is right we're talking about. No matter how much he hits on any woman he sees on the street, the moment you piss him off, you better watch your back. It might have just been water, but she'll be living in the same city as him. Who knows when they'll meet again? He's just bunked up over at Anselm. I shudder to think how he can easily make her life hell with just the flicker of his fingers. It doesn't help that the thought of that alone adds a whole new level of irritation, on top of the disappointment, anger, and outrage. In my frustration, I slam a hard fist down in the steering wheel. Oddly, it's what finally piques a reaction from
You know
her.
what? You would have ended up in an even bigger problem if you did hit him.
Exactly.
You threw water at him.
It won't leave a mark, though. He'll live. The only thing I ruined is his expensive suit.
Still the same thing.
And you acting like this isn't helping Zack at all.
Really, blame is the last thing I want to hear right now, especially with the stunt she pulled. She means well, but anger clouds a lot of things. Here we go. Sometimes I can't help myself but sprinkle my own answer with the same heat. Oh.
I know, damn it!
Okay, that went up. Okay. Somehow admitting that out loud feels like a release in itself. As if a dam has been opened, every pent-up frustration spills from my mouth before stopping myself. It occurs to me.
Seriously, it's one bad thing after another. First, I get kicked off my own case, now Zach's in jail, and still no word from Rebecca.
Oh, you'll hear from Rebecca.
To top it all off, there's a ghost, a damn ghost of all bloody things, going after us. Everything's such a clusterfuck.
Without any warning, she gives my forehead a hard flick. The pain is fleeting, but enough to stop my tirade. She appears to completely unamused when I glance at her. There's no trace of anger in her eyes, though. Even lacks the sharpness Rebecca had when scolding someone. Hers are softer, but doesn't fail to nail the disappointed mother look. All at once, regret replaces the annoyance.
You don't have to act so pissy all the time, you know?
Well, she's right about that, at least.
Not everything's gonna go your way. That's something you'll have to live with. That's just how it is.
Easy to say, but the moment everything goes south.
Well, that's why we're here, right? It doesn't always have to be just you. You'll miss a lot of things in life, the good things, if you keep thinking like that. If my mama were here, you'd get a scolding.
She throws a quick smile my way and then turns her attention back to the window. Her gesture leaves no room for an argument. For some introspection, plenty. The whole thing did serve to help clear my head, and just like that, somehow everything doesn't look too bleak anymore. Isabella has always had that effect on people. Gratitude and apology almost formed in my lips.
Sup, Bob Ash from New York City.
Goddamn.
Baggers, watch out.
Though before the words can fall, my phone rings, effectively cutting through the conversation. Oh, shit. A quick glance at the card shows Rebecca's name, blinking on the screen. Besides me, Isabella coach.
It's Becca. I'll tell her to meet us at Salem Well as soon as she can. Excuse me.
Without another word, I slip out of the car and walk back into the precinct. Oh, joy. Hold day off on answering the call until the door closes and the noise of the city fades away behind me. However, the tone Rebecca assumes isn't what I'm hoping to hear.
Becca?
Oh, no.
Hey, did I wake you up?
I get a bit out of breath. There's a tinge of urgency in it. Listening to her from my side of the line makes it seem like she just had run a marathon prior to this. She did.
No,
sort of.
I left you a voicemail, so I thought, where are you?
Ash, do you remember that one time?
The question catches me off guard, to say the least. Where is she going with this?
What?
Back in secondary, we joined a contest back then, didn't we? We had to dress you up as a girl and...
No.
What? You looked really pretty. I think I still have that picture somewhere.
Burn it. We're not talking about that again. You promised.
It did happen, not a memory I'm very fond of, to be honest. So laughter escapes me no matter how embarrassing it is at the moment. It's one of the few I can remember clearly in my head. Never did found where she kept those photographs.
Seriously, what brought this on?
Nothing. It's just the first thing I remembered.
You're being weird today, Becca. Whatever. Listen, I need you to go home right away. I'm at Salem Well right now and...
Thanks, Ash.
What? Suddenly her voice hitches, almost as if she's in tears, and it sends out every alarm bell ringing in my head. For better or for worse, something more than wrong is happening on her end of the line. Regardless, I give her the focus she asks of me. I don't want to think that she's merely pleading for me to listen. I'd like to mention that it isn't horror and a deep underlying resignation that I hear in her voice. I'm transfixed.
Hold on, did I do something?
For everything.
Rebecca, what?
I'm so glad to have known you.
Wait, what are you...
Whatever her words mean or feelings they carry ceases to matter in this instant. They're all inconsequential when someone, Rebecca's life, might be in danger. This whole thing isn't just wrong. Wherever she is, something's fucked up is going on, and I'm here to listening to it right now.
God
Helpless.
damn it, Rebecca, where are you?
The laughter and then the lion drops dead.
Becca? Rebecca! Dread
turns into terror and the sudden pandemonium when the precinct comes rushing in all at once. Officers barking orders and the rapid tapping of foot against the floor and people shouting for a dispatch. There's a split second where I'm torn between trying to figure out where Rebecca is and finding out what happened to inspire this chaos. All of a sudden, see the looks run as peaceful cities go. If there's any crime, it's usually low-key in and out of the public eye as quickly as they come. Things are kept private on a name-no basis unless the media catches wind of a high-profile case or something really odd happens. Of course, there's gossip and people talk, but everybody minds their own business most of the time. So when commotion happens and people are shouting for dispatch, you know there's trouble. It only took 2 words. 2 words broadcasting over every police radio all over the city, including the one on the front desk, to fire everything up.
Jump her up.
Jump her up. The emergency service unit is assembling, each one hoping that they'll be able to talk this one down. An ambulance will already have been placed on standby. The library isn't too far from the hospital. Regardless, it's for something in my
Copy
gut.
that. Can we get a 1020?
A cold, hard feeling that tells me I should be there.
Jumper was spotted on the rooftop of the city library. Need dispatch immediately.
But my feet won't move. The phone in my hand creaks under the pressure of my grip and my knuckles turn white. All of a sudden, my whole body paralyzed with thoughts of what I might find there as people around me rush toward the scene. Something tugs my arm that the haze bearing down on me lifts. Beside me, Isabella is starting to worried, eyes questioning, a certain frown on her lips. I didn't even notice when she followed me, but whatever she has seen in my face must have forced her to.
Ash, what's going on? The radio in your car is blasting some report about a jumper?
Rebecca.
Where is she? Did she say something?
No, she's...
Her hold on my arm tightens. Fear and panic flash in her eyes while she looks at me with the same terror and dread swirling at the pit of my stomach.
Did something happen to Becca, Ash?
My own tongue has gone thick with a sickening foreboding feeling and my whole brain has shut off. All I know is I have to run. I need to get there.
Ash, what happened?
I don't know, just stay here. I'll...
The rest of those reassurances died on my tongue and I broke into a run, leaving Isabella with only a comforting squeeze on her shoulder. The library isn't too far from the precinct. In cases like this, however, every minute counts, every second critical. The cold and cruel voice already whispers in my head, "You're too late." I want to believe it isn't. I hope and wish it isn't who I think it is. Because I don't want to be someone who has to be so useless in that exact moment, frozen by apprehension when I heard her speak. I knew something was off, goddammit. I don't want to think it might have been her final words I'm listening to. The horrifying possibility from what I fear is real drowns out everything else. Too late. Anything and everything in front of me are mere obstacles in my way, and I jump. And I run, jump, push everything aside as I try to make a beeline for my destination. I don't even have the time to let go of mindless apologies or to explain that there's an emergency to the bystanders. I should decide, but even with all that, I'm too late.
Jumper is down. I repeat, Jumper is down. We've got a 1046 to the library. Over.
Copy that. Can we have identification of the body?
We've got a bystander here who says he knows the woman, Rebecca Gales from the local high school.
Becca. I'll recognize her anywhere, even from a mile away. And for once, that isn't a welcoming fact. Too clear, too vivid. Her broken body lies on the sidewalk in just one big bloody mess. Her hair fades out and stands out in stark contrast to the pavement, slick with blood and redder than it's ever been. The right side of her head is caved in from the impact, and her right arm is twisted and mangled. And there are those words again around her, "Help me," just like the letter.
10-4. Medical personnel are on their way. Resume securing the immediate area for investigation and cleanup.
Gone.
All available officers have been dispatched for crowd control. Over.
God, she's gone.
Over and out.
And I wasn't able to do a damn thing about it. Shortly, officers moved to pull the bystanders away from the scene. People who have witnessed the fall, passers-by who just want to see what's interesting going on. Someone screaming, weeping, crying, but I can't do anything other than stare. I can't even bring myself to come closer, only stand among the crowd as just another civilian. The world has come to a standstill, until someone's horrified scream tears above everything else and nothing else matters. familiar voice. A blur of red rushes by, my body moves, and my hand shoots up to reach for Isabella's before any coherent thought forcing me to, or she could even approach the body because, damn it. She's the last person who needs to see that she doesn't need another death in her life. Not after Rose, not after her father's death, not after this. The tug causes her to stumble back gently and pull her towards me. It takes a whole 2 breaths for her to steady herself. Shaking, she braces both her hands against my arm, gripping my jacket tightly as if it's the only thing keeping her from breaking. She tries briefly to pull away, but my hold remains firm.
Don't look. You don't need to see this.
Even then, there's weakness in her movements, her breathing labored. In a minute, it seems like her knees will suddenly buckle if I don't keep a steady hand on her. And yet, it all shatters when she glances up at me, tears streaming down her face cheek. Panic, desperate, her voice brimming with anguish when she speaks.
Ash, we can still save her! We need to!
Belle, she's gone. Shh.
No, Ash! Rebecca, she's here! She's still... We have to help her! There must be something! We can't just let her die like this!
Weak as she is, she makes another attempt to break free, but my arm stays unyielding against her. Instead, I draw her head closer, her face sinking into my shoulder. Serious tears flow from her eyes, and the sounds of her sobs alone. Everything around us fades. Every sound, every movement becomes nothing but noise. No more. Even now, I can't do anything other than stare at the pool of blood on the pavement and hold on Isabella like a lifeline as she does with me. Can't even bring myself to move, because no matter what I say or what I do right now, empty words won't bring back the friend we lost. Numb is an understatement. No. I feel dead inside. We both do. Beck's in prison and Rebecca's. But my own failures has never felt as palpable as it does right now. In the end, I can only hang on to all that remains. Death notification is a task I avoid like a plague. Although I've known Rebecca since childhood, there are plenty of reasons why I shouldn't be the one breaking the bad news to her parents. One, protocol states you're always supposed to do this in person. 2, protocol also states that you're supposed to do this with a partner. And 3, I've never been good with words. But here I am unceremoniously thrust into the task, all because there's no other one. As expected, everything goes as well as my blunt mouth can take. My scales relentless sobs echoed loudly through the receiver when I finish, informing them all I can say before ending the call is an empty.
I'm really sorry, Mrs. Gales.
Before ending the call, the click and heading back inside Isabella's apartment. Her mom's voice still ringing in my ears even as I leave it all in the hallway behind me. Here, though, Isabella's cries have already faded into soft whimpers, and sometime while talking to Rebecca's family, she had fallen asleep. Now she lay still, curled up under her blanket. Wordlessly, I take the empty space on the edge of the bed. Despite how peaceful this all seems, the gravity of her death has hit all of us hard, and the dense air now lingers in the room. It hangs heavy in my shoulders while I try to make sense of everything in my head. Most of all, it's in the furrow between Isabella's brows. Gently, I reach out to smooth it out. She reacts with nothing but a sigh before turning on her back and burying herself further and under the sheets. Becca's dead. She's the last person I needed to account for, damn it. Though Zach's not in a better situation, he's alive. Isabella's here.
How could this have happened?
With no ears to hear, the question merely fades into nothingness. How many more close calls do we have to go through? How many deaths do we have to witness? How long can we keep this up? We're bound to break at one point. No normal human being with a sane mind can last like this, losing people important to them one by one right in front of them. It's a miracle Isabella hasn't cracked yet. She, out of all of us, carry a much deeper attachment with the people she loves, no matter how little time she spent with them. After all, she was the one who found that letter. I expect her to have caved in by now, yet her voice, surprisingly calm and composed in the face of this, is what suddenly cuts through the air.
Ash, what do we do now?
It's a question I've been dreading to hear. Unable to offer an answer, I avert my gaze and mumble my uncertainties under my breath, hoping she won't hear.
I don't know.
I don't even know how I'll be able to keep you safe.
Can't let that woman, that thing, take more people from us. I'm not going to lose you or Zach to her.
And you. Her bed creaks, dips when she pulls herself off it, and it takes the empty space on the couch. Quietly, she begins gathering every paper from BRC and starts laying them out on the table. Once done, she glances briefly at me, sharp, determined one. Then she gets straight down to business without another pause. With what happened, I had no choice but to follow her lead. Although there's some tense fumbling for words at first, the whole conversation gained steam soon enough. All at once, everything we brushed off, carelessly ignored, rudely dismissed, has been laid out for close scrutiny. Her encounters with the woman, our close brushes with death every time she appears, the dread, the fear, the terror she brings out even in the bravest of us, everything. Because no matter how bleak this all seems, there must still be a way out of this. There has to be. Logic be damned. Or at least that's what Isabel and I would like to believe. Yet, even as the cold morning light shifts in the warm hues of late afternoon and eventually night, none of this still makes a fucking damn sense. Darkness has fallen, but we're still nowhere near figuring things out. If anything, we're more at a loss than we've ever been before we even started this. Missing a note, frustration rears its ugly head, and the sheets of paper I've been holding smacks the table harder than I've intended. The sound of it echoes loudly in the small room, and we simply fall silent. Along with it is a release of another long held breath. Perhaps 100th since this morning.
We aren't getting anywhere at this rate.
Don't just drop it. There must be something in this we aren't seeing yet. Ash, please. Rebecca wouldn't want us to give up on this.
That's an odd thing to hear from her. The very words I've been telling myself every single time I found myself facing a dead end. We can use a little of the optimism right now, I guess. Isabel's right in the other point as well. Rebecca would definitely give me an earful herself if she were still here. She had a knack for being brutally honest with her opinions. We often had clashed at times, yet I still respected her for it. Her opinion was as valuable as every other person I've let into my life. Can't lose another person like that.
I know, but what are we supposed to be looking at here in the first place?
Well, we already looked through those files. You're the one that picked it out last night, right?
All of them? I'm pretty sure every person we've checked in there isn't necessarily involved. One client possibly died of old age. Remember, you found that dumb paper right before the open house. No one was allowed inside that place for a time that day. It's too broad of a scope if we include every single person. In fact, the only notable ones are C and Jean Marie.
But if we're going to include them in the count, shouldn't there have been more than enough people to end this fucking curse already? And it's just... how does this thing even work?
Yeah, okay, we went in and out of the place, but no, you still don't get it. What I'm trying to say about those clients is, maybe there's more to this than just the letter.
Possibly.
Ashton?
Hey, I'm trying my best here. I wasn't trained to deal with this kind of shit.
We're also missing a lot of things here, so there's still a gap. A huge one. Even with the information we currently have right now, it still feels like there's something we're overlooking. All we have to go with is the letter and the stuff selfish people have been keeping from the public. But what else? Where this all started? The Ermengarde Mansion? We'll bring the letter back there, fix everything? Fuck. How do I... The mansion's a private property now, I can't just waltz in there. I'd rather die before I even... Fucking hell's that? There was a bug on the window. I'd rather die before I even think of begging Wright to let me in and investigate the place. After what he did to Zach, not gonna happen over my dead body. One thing's very clear after these last few days, however. We're not safe anymore, and I have to act fast if I want to keep my friends alive. We can't keep running away. Sooner or later, she'll get us like she did with Rebecca. And damn it, I hope Zach's safe where they're keeping him. There are guards stationed at the holding cell 24/7, but you can't be sure. This is a ghost we're up against. Before anything happens, I have to put an end to this. So I guess I end up to stretch out the kinks in my back for several hours of sitting. We've been at this for too long. A break is needed. Time to let everything sink in, or else we'll all burn out. I know I will. It's another thing I cannot let happen when they're all counting on me like this. Albeit unspoken, it's in Isabella's eyes as she looks up.
We've been at this since morning. We should take a break for a few.
The rest of it never makes it out of my mouth as something heavy and grating sounds from the far end of the room. A harsh booming noise rendering through the eardrums of every person in the room. All at once, Isabella's on her feet while I quickly palm for my gun on the table. However, before I can pull it up and remove the safety, the whole racket stops. Stillness descends in the room, and amidst the sudden rush, the two of us exchange anxious glances. So much for a break.
Ash, do you think that's her?
Gather everything.
No questions asked. She wastes no time getting to work, piling up the documents we've been reading through. Even Isabella's unusually silent as she gathers everything in her arms, her own movements sharp and precise, deep furrow on her brow. There's fear, but something hardened and urgent overshadows it. But the moment doesn't last. Before getting a finish, the noise ups the tension already gripping the place. Suddenly, the lights go out, and the wardrobe at the end of the room roused as if something inside begs for freedom. Cautiously, eyes glued to it, I take a step forward and release the lock on my gun. I'm no trigger-happy person, but I'm not sure if this will work on a ghost. But right now, its smooth surface against my palm with the trigger on my finger provides the closest I have to relief as I approach the closet.
Ashton, what are you doing? Ashton?
Worried as she immediately stops at the slight raise in my hand, but the edges there are all huddles in the space between the door and the room. In case this goes off, whatever I find inside, she has enough time and space to run from her position. Two deep breaths across the room and stood in front of the closet. Whatever's inside has yet to stop thrashing. Instead, it now has moved to banging at the door louder and louder, and no longer I delay. Another shallow breath. I glance at Isabella, nod. Something creaks, and then in the next moment, I'm grasping at the handles of the swing door. The swing door is wide open to reveal nothing. Right away, I part the clothes hanging on, and still nothing. No ghost, no woman, not a single trace of whoever's inside. Confused, I glanced back toward Isabella, only to see her mirroring the same expression on my face. I noticed I find that sounds, but I'm quite sure it isn't just my imagination, or maybe it is, and I'm just too strung up that my head's now making things up. Whatever the case is, I need to get out of here as soon as possible. This only confirms we aren't safe anywhere. I'm about to close it if I move back, ready to leave. Adrenaline now coursing through every vein in my body, and the next second I'm barking orders.
We should go. Isabella, we need to...
Unsent sprawling on my back as something cold catches my ankle and yanks. Oh, shit. The resulting fall knocks the wind out of me. Pain racks my whole spine and the back of my head as it collides against the floor with force enough to dislodge my own brain from my skull. A moment lasts before stars fade from my vision, and then I sense it. Cold tendril twisting around my ankles. The smell of rot assaulting my nose. Nauseating, sickening, a foul smell draining every feeling in my body. The moment her horrid laughter still as unpleasant and vicious as the last time I heard it reaching my ears, my eyes snap open. Oh, hello. Perhaps it's just an experience, or maybe I'm still attempting to comprehend this. Regardless, the minute my eyes land on her, the whole of my body freezes. The gun in my hand turns useless as my grip on the slackens. In the minute her gaze bores on me, I'll say, the look out of utter hatred and malice. I've seen her loads of times, seeing suspects, mostly murderers, who never regretted their actions despite being caught. It's the face of someone you can no longer reason with, and I know the moment she laughs again, such dragging me towards her, it's already going to be the...
Ashton! Snap out of it!
No. Can't I hear? Not yet. The haze fades from my mind, and instinct kicks in. And
Isabella, out! Get out! Get out of here!
With one powerful tug, I yank my foot out from her grip and scramble back to my feet, ignoring the piercing wails she fills the room with. From the span of a second, I'm gunning from the door, grabbing Isabella's arm and leading her out. Into the hallway, down the flight of steps, and right inside my car. I waste no time flooring on the gas pedal. The second she closes the door behind her, and I'm sure while I'm driving us out of Selma, I don't even entertain the thought of winding down just yet, even as the last of the bone's painful cries fade into the night. Okay, that ends it then. Okay, that ends this video of the letter. I had so much trouble trying to record this one video. My computer just, shutting off while I was recording, and had to redo like 15 minutes of that, rereading 15 minutes of that. I don't know how to do an outro with this. Subscribe, check out other stuff I've done, and see you next time, I guess. Bye-bye.